Hollywood's still delayed. All of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Finding news at this point in the year is like pulling teeth.
All the news is just hearsay and just rumor, and it's kind of gross to even see that from sites I trust, where they're like, "This might be happening, but we don't know," and then like 2 hours later, like, that is not confirmed.
Right.
Yeah, unless someone died, there really
Yeah.
hasn't been any major developments.
Yeah, and the only place where you can get something verified is from Deadline, and all of that is like, this person you don't know signed on for this thing.
That
you
might
don't
or might
want.
not be happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a lot of that stuff. So
I think I saw a Flash movie headline like 2 weeks ago, and I just audibly giggled because I was like,
yeah. So that's why this has been 2 months since the last time we did one of these. So yeah.
So Hunter, what do you think?
I think movies are good.
Wow.
Yes, they are. That's a good lead-in to our first story.
I think movies
we're not
are
doing
great.
intros, by the way. Just so anybody
Now,
knows.
if you don't know who I am at
Still
this
not
point,
doing
fuck you. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So AMC pushed back their opening up till August.
Shock.
I know.
Really?
I'm so surprised. I'm happy about this as a AMC Stubs customer. That I don't have to cancel my subscription next week. Or no, it would have been like last week, because that was when they initially were planning to reopen. So yeah, that's something. This is why it's in the speed round, people.
A movie theater is the last place I want to be right now.
Exactly. And the first people that are going to be going to movie theaters are parents with children.
Oh God, no!
Out of the house.
No.
And kids are going to be the ones who are just going to be disease farms.
Yeah,
and
they're going to be
schools reopen.
They're also going to be pent up little gremlins who are, finally being
Right.
taken to do something, and they're going to trash the place.
Yep.
I'm set on going back to movie theaters until at least 2022. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. That and
I-
AMC is desperate at this point.
I
too.
kind of like the convenience of being able to rent movies at the house that come out, like Invisible Man and what was the other one? Scoob. I didn't watch
Right.
Scoob, but
Mhm.
yeah,
I did.
Invisible Man was cool.
I watched Scoob.
Why would you do that?
Somebody else had already rented it, and I was like, "What the fuck? What am I
was,
gonna watch Scoob?"
I was very confused when I walked by that DVD at the grocery store, and I was like, what the fuck is Blue Falcon doing on the cover of this?
Wait, is it already on DVD?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, they got to maximize profits, man.
Here's the thing. I don't want to subject any of you to it, but I almost want to make you guys watch Scoob so we could do a movie special.
You can't make me do anything.
Hold on, is this
Say
movie
it.
really that bad?
It's not.
It's not that bad, but it's infuriating.
What?
In multiple places. It's the kind of thing that I think we could all shit on for at least an hour.
It's just the idea of a Scooby-Doo movie making anyone feel anything besides there's a movie on is bizarre to me.
So it's not really a Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah, I gathered by that when I saw that's Blue Falcon, right? That weird
Yes, it's
fucking
Blue Falcon.
Hanna-Barbera
It also
superhero.
has fucking Dick Dastardly.
Why?
Yes, like it's
so is
very
it a
much like a.
Is it
yeah.
a
supposed
soft
to
lead into
be-
wacky races?
Kinda. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
kind of a Hanna-Barbera reboot.
Mhm.
So it's the Hanna-Barbera Avengers, is what you're telling me.
Right. They basically were like, well, what's our most popular character? Not like that's
Dick
a
Dastardly,
question.
obviously.
They were like, well, the most popular character is Scooby-Doo. Honestly, maybe the only one who's still popular.
I mean,
Love
like, here's the thing. If in 2 years I see a movie trailer for this, like, Hanna-Barbera universe and, like,
I don't think you
OG Birdman pops up for some reason, I would get my attention. I wouldn't go see it, but I'd still find it incredibly surreal.
No, I don't think you will. I don't know how well the movie did.
It's on
But-
HBO Max, so
It
like,
is.
I could not pay for it, but why would I do that?
It's true. I think they'll walk it back. I think the next movie will be like very heavy, like classic Scooby Doo.
Like
because-
Squiddly Diddly?
Squiddly diddly.
Like they might even go too far and overcorrect. And
Dude,
just
do a
like,
Jabberjaws movie.
hell yeah.
Remember Jabberjaws?
Hunter, you're just
What
reminding
about-
me how much I fucking hate Hanna-Barbera.
I know it's
What
so
about
bad.
Dingaling Wolf?
What about any other shows involving 5 kids and some kind of anthropomorphic thing?
What is?
Oh,
what
you
is
mean
this
every
show?
show starring teenagers that's vaguely supernatural?
What
Yeah,
is the
right.
show with the fucking talking car?
Oh, fuck.
You know what I'm talking about.
The one that goes like...
Yeah, that guy. That asshole.
The only reason I know half these characters anymore is because they were all in Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law.
Yes.
I don't remember what the fuck that's called. I just remember Jabberjaw. I remember like Captain Caveman.
The
I
fucking
guess
Shows up
cat.
in Scoop, by the way.
Oh my god, no! he
Yeah,
doesn't.
he's played by Tracy Morgan, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Alright,
man.
then.
Like it's a weird movie where you're like,
Fuck.
So fucking weird.
yeah, you're like, why is this happening? What's going on right now? And you're like, well, that Scooby Doo movie that the first 10 minutes of this is, I really liked that movie for the first 10 minutes, and then it just turns into madness, utter.
I have a question. Is Droopy
Craziness.
D in it?
I think he's in not a post-credit scene, but they do like the end credits are like Scooby Doo meeting the other Hanna-Barbera characters and having a fun time. And I think he's there.
I want to be in the room when someone who's like under the age of 20 goes, "Who the fuck is that?"
Bro, you don't know Magilla Gorilla?
Well,
I don't know if I would know all these characters if I wasn't born in 1994.
As a
Because-
kid, I watched a lot of Hanna-Barbera. Like, I
Right.
like,
I think
Cartoon
our
Network-
generation was there when they were starting to rerun that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Cartoon Network had blocks of this shit on all the time.
they had blocks of the shit running on other cable channels when I was a
Yes.
kid. So yeah, the rights to this stuff must be pennies on the dollar, and
Yeah.
they just
I remember
Ugh.
like being aware of the transition from watching Space Ghost the cartoon to him becoming what Space Ghost Coast to Coast was.
wait, he was a cartoon beforehand?
Absolutely, that's where all those animations come from. They just ripped it from the fucking show. Same thing
Oh,
with
shit, I
C-Lab.
didn't know that. I thought he was just a creation. Like,
No, same thing with C-Lab.
Mhm.
Harvey Birdman. You can just watch the original Birdman. Like all that stuff is all Hanna-Barbera properties. They just readapted into different things.
Right.
that's amazing.
It's
Yep.
the same idea as those Looney Tunes cartoons they did in like the 80s, where it was like, was it like Bugs and Daffy hosting a show talking about their old adventures or
Yeah.
something like that?
I can't remember.
I don't remember shit.
Well, I think Cartoon Network again would do like super chunks of Looney Tunes.
Hmm. Yeah.
My big request is that they bring back the Harlem Globetrotters for the next
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera animated cartoon.
But the original Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, yeah,
I
of
want them to
course.
bring in the Hanna-Barbera exclusive Justice League members, Apache Chief and Black Vulcan.
Didn't they change Apache Chief's name?
Did they?
I think so. I think there was like a point where Apache Chief like came to the comic books and they had to change his name.
Mm.
Well, I think Black Vulcan is also supposed to be a Black Lightning stand-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I don't
they-
ever recall seeing Black Vulcan do anything of note.
Hey, he did lightning stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was it.
According to comic books, all African Americans know how to use lightning powers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If we apply,
If I
the
think about
rules
it, it's
of
weird.
this- Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
the Hanna-Barbera Super Friends show is trash, and I don't
It
want to hear
sucks.
anyone being nostalgic for it.
It
Okay,
fucking sucks. I hate that show.
fucking terrible.
I hope Lou listens to this.
Especially those fucking Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twins suck, especially.
yeah,
Their
like
dog
the
sucks
whole-
too.
The whole Black DC characters thing, just to go on that for a little minute, like even John Jones, not John Jones, John, fuck is his fucking name?
John
What the fuck
Johns?
is his
Stewart?
Yeah,
John Stewart?
Stewart. Even he ended up being a lightning character for a moment.
Yeah,
because,
it's fucking weird. I don't understand.
because you remember when he was on Static Shock and his lantern had run out of power or something like that. So Static Shock charged his ring with his lightning power, so even he had lightning powers at
Yeah.
some point.
I
For,
don't
like, a
understand where that came from.
Yeah.
I like
I know-
that Black Vulcan, Black Lightning, Static Shock are essentially all just the same idea.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. It's,
Yeah.
But yeah, movie
Anyway.
theaters not opening up.
Yeah.
Well, AMC anyway. Also, take from this what you will, but when I was working for AMC, I know they got bought out by a Chinese company, so I don't
Yes, they
know
did.
how that is affecting their global business.
Was it 10 cent?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't 10 cent. It was like I can't remember. This was so long ago that this happened.
Yeah, it was like 2012.
I think it's
Yeah.
going to be a country by country and case by case situation. Because I mean,
Mhm.
if that is what you're remembering correctly, like I could see theaters in China opening up if things clear up quicker than obviously they are in America because we're a
And they
shit
probably
show.
will.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah, most
the
likely will.
rumblings are that studios are just going to release stuff everywhere else if things aren't better here.
I
if
mean,
things
Oh,
are
man.
better elsewhere.
They
I
might as
can't
well.
wait for the return of piracy.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you
That's
guys
what they're
mean?
asking for.
Stealing things is wrong. You shouldn't
Right.
steal.
You
Mhm.
wouldn't download a car, would you?
No.
You wouldn't.
You definitely shouldn't steal from Walmart. Take
No,
that
but I'll
where you
steal
No,
a
you
Korean rip of a
certainly
movie if it's out there.
Yeah.
You should not burn down targets. That's something.
No,
you
you
should
shouldn't do that. We're all good people here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Uh,
you create an ideal situation to where we get another backstroke of the West lightning in the bottle situation where something is just horribly translated back and forth.
Yes.
I cannot wait for the implosion of fanboys when a Marvel film releases outside of the United States.
Oh
God.
Long before.
I am going to ascend my body. I'm going to become sentient, like sentient space parts.
I'm imagining what it's gonna be like when like they open here and it's just like this like crawling mass of flesh that's just headed towards
Mhm.
theaters. Like, finally.
right.
God.
Yeah. You can't wait. So yeah, theaters are dying.
R.I.P.
Bye. Bye theaters. And the
I mean, I thought it was gonna happen a
theaters.
lot later in my lifetime, but yeah, pandemic will do it.
Yeah.
I say good riddance, honestly.
I mean, like, there's one, like, I think there's been successful experiments in, like, releasing stuff that would be, I guess, a major release on streaming services. And then, like, going to a theater is like, hey, let's pay $45 for tickets, and then let's pay $65 for food.
Right.
And sit in a moderately gross theater that could potentially have, like, lots of rude patrons. Nah, I'm good.
Right.
I love the idea of a theater chain saying, "Come to us. We're just moderately gross.
We're moderately gross. Hey, I mean, like,
We promise we'll identify the sticky stuff you're stepping in, unlike Theater B down the street."
You mean they promise they'll identify the corpse that might be left in the theater? Because
Jesus
that's happened
Christ.
from time to time. It
Jesus
happened to my
Christ.
manager when I worked at AMC.
God damn it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Yeah. To go to other things that are supposed to be in a speed round. So yeah, Perry Mason's getting renewed. I know I'm the only one that cares.
I
But
know,
hey.
I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. Like,
It
Yeah.
looks cool.
What is Perry Mason?
Okay.
what
are you
is
asking what
Perry
the
Mason?
Are you asking what the concept of Perry Mason is? Or
I
are
just
you
don't know
asking-
what it is.
Okay. It's a show.
Hard-boiled detective show.
Yeah, it's a hard-boiled detective show. It's a
What?
reboot of like a 50s crime drama show. It's
Jesus
like-
Christ, this sounds aggressively like the most you thing ever.
Yes, it is. They made it specifically for me. They snuck into my room at night and they were like doing tests to see what I would respond to, and then they constructed this show.
If you get a
Um,
chance, watch the trailer for it, Connor. It actually, like, after Arlen had mentioned, it was getting a reboot, I was like, what? Why are they doing that? And I was skeptical. I watched the trailer and I was
Right.
like, oh, that actually looks really interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, it's fairly good. I was surprised by how much I liked it, and it's very much an HBO show also. So all the HBO things occur.
Lots of boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Any dong? Any dong this time?
Lots of dong.
Lots of dong.
As is the case in classic HBO, some dong that you don't want to see.
I think there's a line on Of All Places, the Jason Goes to Hell commentary, and it's like the the perception of this in Hollywood, I think the phrase was, "You can show pickle, you can't show angry pickle."
Oh.
That's accurate.
Bro.
So yeah, it's and they take full advantage of the fact that it's set in like the 30s, so it's very Depression era, and people talk weird, and they wear funny little hats and stuff, and it's
Well, in that case, then I'm,
Funny little hats.
and their cute little suits.
right.
I mean, if anything, that kind of catches my interest because what I saw from Boardwalk Empire, I fell off it and just never wandered back to it.
That show, I've always wanted to watch it just because
Right.
of Michael Shannon in that show.
Boardwalk Empire is
Michael
awesome,
Shannon.
and Michael Shannon is the most Michael Shannon he's ever been.
It's so
in
amazing.
Boardwalk Empire.
I really wish that they would like put out like a Michael Shannon cut of Boardwalk Empire of just his character.
Just his day to day.
Or just like everything that they put on the show as it is, but like as a movie or like a 12-hour like miniseries.
Doesn't he beat someone like near death with an iron?
Yes, he does.
He does a
Oh.
lot of insane shit. Like it's.
I've never
it's
seen the
fucking
show,
crazy.
but all I've ever seen are clips of Michael Shannon losing
Well,
his
I
mind
think
on it.
the gist was that he was like an ex-hitman or some like he was an associate who
he's
now
just
has.
he's just
Well-
a crazy person. He's just
Oh, okay.
insane.
I thought he was like constantly having to behave himself, but like all he wants to do is like explode all the time.
Yeah, okay. Let's just talk about this. He's a former not DEA, alcohol enforcement agency. agent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
ATF?
ends up. Yeah, well, it's whatever the version of it was. It was a different name, I think. At the
Mhm.
time. Yeah, but he ends up going on the run. I think killing some of his fellow agents. So he ends up going to Chicago and becoming like a mob hitman. That's sort of his arc, and he's like got this swelling rage underneath him that makes him a very good hitman. So yeah, that's his sort of character.
Is he
in a
the
nutshell.
dude with half a face, or is that somebody different in the show?
No,
That's
that's
somebody different.
Okay.
John Harrow. I
Yeah.
wonder if anybody's name came from that. But yeah. Anyways,
You're
Perry
right.
Mason, very good show. Yeah, I at least I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I've been surprised by some of the places that it's gone and the decisions that it's made. So I'm curious what they'll do with another season.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that I definitely want to catch up on. It's just my wife and I like
Yeah.
HBO Max I've had since it launched, and there's been a few things we've watched, but we got sucked into I'll Be Gone in the Dark, so that's
Right.
kind of what we've been watching on a regular basis. And
I've been watching a lot of regular show, and like that show, I don't know if you've ever seen regular show. I know I talked about this a little in our chat, but that show is genuinely, I'm really concerned that I wrote that show somehow.
oh yeah, that show is
Okay.
aggressively Hunter. Like,
Yeah, it's so me. I don't understand it.
My my buddies Andy and Brian used to watch that show, and like after a while, I was like, "You're just Rigby and Mordecai. Like you've been that way since I met you before I even knew what the show was." Like,
So
I don't
good.
know. It's my boys were watching it when it was originally airing on Cartoon Network, so I've been aware of that show forever, just like everything, because I'm older
Yeah.
than the dawn
Yeah,
of time.
no, he's old.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, Perry Mason, it looks like it's oozing with style and just set designs look
Mhm.
amazing, costuming, everything. I need to get around to watching it. I don't know if anybody else will, but it's definitely on the itinerary. It's just somewhere further down right now.
maybe when I finish Doom Patrol, I'll jump into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I know that you're never going to watch it. I know for a fact that you're never going to watch it.
I don't know. I've been kind of hankering to like actually watch shows again because I haven't been,
Fair
and
enough.
so that's why I blitzkrieg through Harley Quinn and 5 episodes into season 1 of Doom Patrol, and both of those experiences so far have been just fantastic. I've never
Yeah,
heard Brendan Fraser drop so many f-bombs.
Yeah.
That's Doom Patrol's another one that I need to watch, but I need to clear up some time.
I'm gonna
I mean-
say it on the show, but I've said it in the chat. Like Harley Quinn is really, really, really good, and it's far
Fantastic.
better than I imagined it would be.
Yeah.
and it actually does stuff like change the status quo of Gotham for the long term. And then season 2 is completely uncharted territory as far as like a Batman story. It is adapting No Man's Land, but how it's doing it is really fucking interesting.
Yeah, when it eventually comes to Max, I'll watch it. Also, Max has to fix their whole fucking Roku thing that just
that
irritates
might be a
me
good
so
idea.
fucking end.
Yeah, they should probably fucking do that so I can watch
like-
HBO Max.
Luckily, I currently have an Xbox and I have a Chromecast, so for the most part, I can watch Max if I need to. But it's at the point where I'm like, time to turn on the Xbox. time to connect to the Chromecast if I want to watch HBO Max. And
Oh, what a burden!
Yeah, I know. It's such a
I
such a
have to go
burden.
from one device to the next.
And that's why I'm glad I have an Apple TV. Anyways,
You see,
Yeah.
some of us can afford an Apple TV, and some of us can afford 2 Rokus.
Well, I got my Apple TV for free essentially, so I don't want to hear
Right.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? Did you really? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, I did. So yeah. Let's
Yeah.
keep talking about it like this in weird veiled tones.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay, now to a very serious kind of story. Grant Imahara passed, I think,
Yeah.
almost a week ago now.
Yeah, that was shocking.
And it still sucks. It's still kind of awful.
I didn't watch enough
that's-
MythBusters to really know who he was, but then like once his like larger body of work came out, I was like, oh shit, like this guy's kind of important.
Yeah.
Well, that's the second person from MythBusters who's passed, isn't it?
Yeah, because there was
Mhm.
someone who died trying to break a land speed record.
Yeah, it was one of the it was a woman, I can't remember her name. But yeah, she was on for a little bit while I think Carrie was pregnant or she had to be off for whatever reason. But yeah, she was in there for a bit. Yeah, she and Jamie seemed to get along really well. So I think that was someone he picked as opposed to some of the other knuckleheads. But yeah, it's Grant Imahara. Like he's been there from very beginning. For me watching it was years and years ago. Like my wife and I would watch it all the time. So yeah, hearing about him dying, that sucked. And like, has cause of death other than brain aneurysm been said? Like, was it
It
due
just
to?
says brain aneurysm on the story. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was related to COVID or something like that, or what the case might be.
No, it just says suddenly died following a brain aneurysm.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. Brain aneurysm is one of those ones where it's like, oh, well, fuck. Because that will just hit anybody. It doesn't matter what level of health you are. It's just like, you're done.
That is the universe flicking you off the surface of the planet, essentially.
Yeah, because it's not like there's anything you can do to be like, I might have a brain aneurysm building. I should go get this checked out. Like, it's just, hey, guess what? Blood, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard he was the guy who was basically the man behind R2-D2 in the new trilogy. Oh, in the prequels.
Yeah, it was the prequels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where he got his, or at least not his start, but yeah, that was one of his big things. Like, because he worked at ILM for the longest time, and that's where I think Tori Valici also got his start, and that's how he got pulled into doing MythBusters with him because they used to work together.
Adam actually did a video about it, which you can watch, and it's very touching because he goes into depth about their working relationship. He wanted him on the show on season 1 of or season 1 and 2 of MythBusters. So, and they both worked together at ILM. He started out as an electrical engineer. And that's why they brought him on to light the
His
little
specialty was robots, wasn't it?
Robots, but anything electrical. Like he built a rig that allowed I can't remember the name of this camera. I think it's a motion control setup. He built a lighting system that was able to synchronize with the motion control camera so that the lights worked through the special effects. Basically, it allowed models to be lit from the inside internally and have that appear on camera.
That's crazy.
And in time with everything so that it could happen and they could repeat the shots over and over again seamlessly. Brilliant, man. just from
Yeah.
everything that I can tell. And Eric, you said that you watched him from the very beginning. I grew up with this guy.
Yeah.
Like MythBusters was like a on and off constant for me, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
so this sucked. This sucked.
It's
The
it's
sort
it's
of B team was my team as
Yeah.
a kid. Like I related to them more than Adam and Jamie because those are grown-ups. whereas
Hmm.
whereas Grant's team, they're kind of closer in age to me, so I was like, oh, I maybe, not likely, but maybe I could be on the B team someday. That's a possibility.
I
Go ahead,
I
Andrew.
I'd always grown up with Mythos as well, and like when he died, it hit me especially hard.
Yeah.
Because that is such a fixture of my childhood. Just gone. Like one day, just wake up, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was my thing with Mythbusters. Like I always felt like the B team got some of the shit jobs, but I think a lot of the ones that were fun were more fun than some of the main things that Jamie and Adam were doing. Like
Yeah.
like watching them fire like high power rifles to see if it'll go through like different types of armored vehicles, and Jamie and Adam are doing
Yeah.
some ridiculously huge thing that ends up being kind of boring. Like it just, I don't know. There was always something kind of more, I don't want to say punk rock, but it felt a little bit more off the cuff, some of the things they had them doing.
Yeah.
And I think I always appreciated that.
Yeah, there's something a little bit more subversive about what they were doing.
Mhm.
It's kind of like if there was another Mythbusters competitor that just happened to be in the same hour or half hour of television. Like if they had been on their own show, you would have called them like the Letterman to Jamie and Adam's Leno or something.
Mhm.
The Fable
Although I have
Breakers.
more respect for Jamie and Adam than Leno.
I
But
would
yeah.
hope.
But yeah, like they were just an interesting group of people, and the three of them. This is something I always enjoyed. They seemed to genuinely get along with each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anything about Jamie and Adam, you know that they really didn't get along with each other outside of the show, outside of being professional on camera.
Yep.
The three, the B team went on to do another show, which was only one season, but White Rabbit was also very good. And that felt like them just doing their own thing, which I rather enjoyed.
Yeah. It's really sad.
Yeah. Did we lose Connor, or does he?
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
I
listening.
wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously,
He's
you
flying.
didn't watch a lot of Mythbusters, I'm guessing then. since you
No,
didn't
I
have a lot
did.
to add.
Them like firing high-powered rifles through shit is stuff I
Mhm.
definitely recall, but I didn't watch too much of it.
Okay.
But if I came across it, I was like, oh fuck yeah! I think I watched the episode. The one I remember the most is the one where they tested out. Like I think it was for Shark Week. Like they put themselves in this big giant animatronic shark and tested out all these like urban legend like shark defensive tactics.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, you're dead. Because they put one of them in this giant robotic shark mouth, and they're just like, all right, just whip me around like I'm underwater. And he's
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, I'm gonna try to poke it in the eye. He's like, I didn't know which way was up, let alone where the eye was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But if you punch him in the nose or the gills, I'm telling you, that works.
They tried that too. He said if you're being attacked, like you're too disoriented and you're underwater, it's like punching a dream. You just like there's no weight behind it.
Mhm.
Yeah, what with that, and you're being attacked by a shark. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, there's not much you can do at that point.
Allow me to
yeah.
stop and assess the situation.
Yeah, it's
Let's take 5, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Need to work out a battle plan here. Yeah. Yeah, it's just getting attacked by a shark, unless it's something like smaller, like a tiger shark or something like
Right.
that. But if it's something as not as big as a great white, but bigger than most of the smaller sharks, that's the most backwards way to talk about things. Eric, good job. I'm done. Like this is my lot in life now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just give up.
You're committing seppuku.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh no, I'll just make myself look bigger than the shark. It's bear rules,
Right.
right? Yeah.
It's like the people that are like, well, if you're getting attacked by a tiger, you got to punch it in the throat. What? How am I going to punch a tiger in the throat?
Dude,
How
if
will
you're
that
angry enough,
ever
you can punch
happen?
right through your throat.
What was that, Hunter?
If you're angry enough, you can punch anything in the throat.
Yeah, and if you try hard enough, anything can be a dildo. So yeah, all right,
Wow.
Looks at my wine glass suggestively.
Yeah, will there's a way.
Pitch. Went into Rome.
All right. I'm glad we were able to end that story on somewhat of a light note.
On masturbation with a wine glass.
Yeah. Rest
That
in
would
peace,
just be
France.
be helping with the masturbation. It wouldn't be masturbating. Anyways,
Yeah. Everybody go watch Galaxy Quest. That's what you should do because he worked on Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
if you haven't
nice.
seen it in a while, it's great. Still.
It's
Yeah,
a
it is.
fantastic movie.
Galaxy Quest is fucking amazing.
yes.
That's that story. And now we are on to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who, according to Eric Kripke, he is joining season 3 of The Boys.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I wonder who he's playing. Well, I mean, I haven't seen a single season of it yet, so I can't speak on how good it is. I mean, apparently there's an audience for it, but
Right.
I don't know who he would play in it. Have they announced his character is going to be?
No, I'm not seeing anything in here. I only bring this up because Kripke and Jeffrey Dean Morgan have a history. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was on Supernatural, and Eric Kripke was the showrunner for the first 5 seasons.
Okay.
So there's sort of a connection there, and I'm instantly more curious about it because of that. And learning that it was Kripke when I finished the season and saw his credit come up, I was like, oh, this is why I didn't hate this. This is why I found this mildly entertaining. So yeah, no confirmation about what he's playing. But since they do know each other, and I can say that Kripke is very good at writing for Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I'm into this. Very into this.
What I know of the Boys, I don't know where they are, story arc, what they're trying to do, because I mean
Right.
they're obviously making some radical changes, because I think the character's name is Stormfront is they're bringing into season 2, and they're turning it into a woman. Which
the G.I. Joe character?
No, it's in the comic at least, and this isn't I can't believe they're making him a woman. I'm just curious if they're going to do the same backstory, because in the comics, Stormfront was a superhero created by the Nazis.
Interesting name.
So I don't know if they're going to do the same thing with her, and if they do, that's cool. But I'm just curious what they would do if they're going to change it at all. So I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those things that if it eventually pops up someplace else, although it's Amazon exclusive right now, who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to him shedding the 4-ton Walking Dead weight off of his ankle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are hoping to do that sometime soon. Somehow, I don't want to talk about Walking Dead, but their new show is for kids, I guess. I don't care.
What?
I don't
Excuse
care
me?
to talk about this. Apparently, Walking Dead is for kids now. We're not talking about it.
How?
We're not talking about Walking Dead, but watch me bring Walking Dead.
You can't drop a bomb like that in the middle of the room and walk away
Yeah, what
Walking
the
Dead
fuck?
for kids now.
Elaborate.
I guess I
What?
saw a headline that said that. I was like, I refuse. I refuse to engage with this headline, and I'm not going to look it up. So if you guys want to look it up, go ahead.
Oh my god, what?
I
Hang
don't.
on.
Is it like Wu-Tang?
It's a
Walking Dead
Polygon
is for the
article,
kids?
first of all.
Well, that could be good. That could be bad.
Oh, it's okay. Hold on. This is a very misleading article title.
Okay.
It's about a new a bunch of kids born into the zombie apocalypse and growing up in it.
Okay. So
Oh,
it's
this
that
is
new
the World
show
Beyond
that they're
show.
doing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I was like, what? Because I know that show has kids in quotes, but my head went 9-year-olds and 5-year-olds. I was like,
I'm just imagining Bozo the Clown with zombies.
Right.
Hey, Arlen, don't undersell those kids, okay? At 7 years old, they can fire a giant revolver and not suffer any blowback, not break their
Exactly.
shoulders.
Well,
Uh-huh.
that one kid is dead now, so it doesn't matter. Carl.
He had it coming.
Oh, I'm talking about the very, very sudden and abrupt. They do a time jump where what's her name? The babe, the fucking daughter.
Sophia? Is it Sophia?
Now, whoever, whatever the fucking baby's name was throughout those 5 goddamn seasons.
I don't
The baby.
Yeah, the baby. Rick's
yeah,
baby.
the baby.
Yeah.
The baby.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, then the show veered wildly from the comics
Oh,
because
yeah. That baby dies in like what would be, I think, season 2,
it's
3?
when they're dealing with the governor in the
Yeah.
comics. Yeah.
And in this, she's like a fucking preteen with Rick's revolver, like saving full-grown adults. She's like,
What?
"Come with me."
That sounds so stupid.
This is why I didn't want to talk about The Walking Dead.
It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that show, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I enjoy him in almost everything I've ever seen him in. So I think that's a really
Right.
good get for The Boys. Like, it
Yeah.
seems like The Boys is doing better and better as time goes on. If they're this confident that they're already planning out season 3.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm into
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be
Yeah.
good. It could go horribly wrong, but whatever.
We'll
Let them do
see.
their thing.
Yeah, I mean it is still Rogan and his partner were
Goldberg?
also- yeah, Goldberg, who were part of the
Yeah.
show. And you did say that you liked where Preacher went, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and Preacher, like it. I mean, I think it kind of got forced into ending quicker than they planned on it. Even though they
Right.
claim like, oh yeah, we only wanted to do 4 seasons, but they
Mm-hmm.
managed to shove a whole lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting to see
They
happen.
kind of nail the ending in a way that's
Yeah.
pretty good for how fast they had to do it.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, and it has a great old boy hallway scene fight. So I'm
Yes.
not gonna hate them for
Ooh.
that. Yes.
I've recently finished that show. And
Oh, nice.
it is really good.
Yeah, like because it popped up on Hulu that season 4 was on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And because my wife and I had been watching it, and we really enjoyed it. It slowed down quite a bit when they went to Jesse's grandmother's house, but
Yeah, I think that's where we fell off. At least
yeah,
when we stopped. At work, we have one particular person who's very devout, and every now and then I'm like, "You should watch Preacher," just to fuck with her, just to see if she one day decides to do it and comes back like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Oh no. When she gets
especially.
to ass face, that's
Well, do you guys want to know how it ends?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so and this was the thing I was kind of surprised by because it's kind of the same way it happened in the comic. So Jesse basically gets the Saint of Killers. He absolves him of his sins so he can go to heaven. And he's distracting God the whole time and gets God to get rid of Genesis, which is the one thing that was keeping God on Earth. God goes back up to heaven, and the Saint of Killers kills God.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I like the whole time I was watching the show when it first came out. I'm like, all right, are they gonna do? No, they're not gonna do this. They're veering too wildly. And then season 4 happened. I'm like, oh my god, they're doing this. They're actually doing this. So yeah, get that devout person to watch it. I'm sure.
Yeah,
they'll
she'll
the
love
end
it.
of it. Yeah.
She won't file an HR complaint at all. There will be no HR complaints.
None whatsoever. It'll be
None.
great. All right. Do we want to move on to the next thing?
Oh yeah. So this is kind of a big story. The Russo brothers are working on a spy movie for Netflix because I guess Extraction was like a giant hit. Starring Chris Evans. Yeah, people. Yeah. Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling were going to be in the movie.
Okay.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Couple of
Tyler, the
hunks.
Gray Man.
Spy hunks.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait. I really can't wait. Just those two names on any movie, I would kind of be in. But yeah, like with these people, I'm in. They're saying a new franchise, so they're really like they're just out there like saying, yeah, we're doing sequels or we want sequels. James Bond level of scale and budget.
Okay.
God, how
Yeah.
much money does Netflix have?
Not a whole lot.
Like, shit.
Well, realistically, not a whole lot, but it seems like they can get this stuff together.
Well,
So,
I mean, when you cancel everything after 2 seasons, you can probably
That's
save
true.
some change.
mhm.
That's true. They bring it to the
Right.
pawn shop. Yeah, like, they sell it there and get as much. They get half the credit for it. I'm shocked they were able to get the Russos, like, because they should be able to just demand whatever they want at this point.
You know, they
Right.
kind of did recently in a separate news story that is like there's not much of it, so there's not much to talk about. But they were talking about potentially returning to Marvel, and they said the only way we do it is if we did Secret Wars, and that's
Yeah, I
the only way
saw
we
that.
come back.
Mm.
Yeah,
and
and
they
then, of course,
wanna do it.
Oh, good. Sorry.
So that means
I'm
it's
just saying-
happening.
They really want
Right.
to do it, so I think.
Yeah.
But I also think Marvel would be like, you did the impossible, so
Yeah.
Wanna
maybe
do it
we'll
twice?
consider.
Well,
Right.
and I know when I'd seen that Secret Wars announcement, like Boss Logic, of course, quickly got out some sort of picture
Right.
of Peter.
Does that
in
guy
an
ever
outfit.
sleep?
I don't
No.
know. No.
No, especially now. I think he literally is like he's strapped into his computer.
I'm just
His blood
imagining
just
him-
melting into it.
Like yeah, like his body
keyboard.
is inside the PC console.
Yeah.
Like,
And Photoshop
His-
is just open constantly on multiple screens, just multiple Photoshops going. at
Well, yeah,
once.
he's just got his Wacom tablet like fused to his arm at this point, so it's just
Mhm.
part of him now.
Yeah, but
So
all the restraints are branded with "We got this covered."
yes.
Jesus Christ.
They're like, "Hey, we
Uh,
got a misleading headline we want to throw up. Get us some work."
Ugh, just like Cosmic Book News. But yeah, I'd seen bits and pieces about this story floating around, and
Mhm.
I'm totally in for it. I'm
Yeah.
totally in for it. Like,
Yeah, and
I will. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and for some details for anybody who's wondering, it looks like Gosling is playing the lead, and Evans is playing the bad guy. Which I
Okay.
gotta be honest,
Whoa!
Evans playing the bad guy is my favorite new thing that he's doing, where he's just playing like, yeah, just horrible people, and I'm very into it. Good job, Evans.
It's the
because-
Bostonian in him.
Yeah.
He's carrying all the terrible Massachusetts genes.
Yeah, he's gonna play Tom Brady in like 5 years. That'll be fun.
Actually, I'd watch
Um,
that movie.
I think we all would.
Is he gonna
Um,
is he gonna play Mark Wahlberg when he was living in Boston and
Yeah.
pop
Yeah,
that
back in,
guy's
back
eye
in the
out?
1970s.
Yeah. Jesus.
Cast him as Vince McMahon in that biopic.
Oh
Ooh.
God.
Oh my god, actually?
Oh God.
Ooh,
I might be back
that's-
in. Not
that's
not
inspired
really,
casting.
but that's
It is
that's
inspired
great
casting for a movie that should never be made.
Yes.
Yeah.
for a
exactly.
movie that, with the current people involved, I have no interest in.
I kind of want to see it just to see how big of a train wreck it is.
Yeah.
It was supposed to. Well, no, there was supposed to be a Chris Benoit movie. A while
Oh
back.
no.
And
No.
No way.
yeah, oh, there's a script for it out there.
You're
It's called,
lying to
it's
me.
called it's called Cripple.
Oh,
Crippler
no!
or something.
What?
And Liam Neeson was the one they wanted to play Vince.
Ooh,
That
that
sounds
would
okay.
be that would be interesting because I don't know if Liam Neeson could play that straight even if he wanted to.
Well, he can be growly. And that's all really Vince is, just growly
Yeah.
and just constantly, bothered.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
the question is, I feel like there are two Liam Neesons. There's really trying Liam Neeson, and there's like sleepwalking through it, Liam. And it depends on which one you're gonna get. That's very interesting, though.
I have a very particular set of skills, and it's screwing wrestlers.
Health insurance. What is
Eating a steak in a very undesirable.
I like to unwrap my burritos and smother them in ketchup, the American way.
Oh god.
Um,
Christ. Take this candy out of my hand, you son.
Okay, anyway,
Not with that hand, the other hand.
Back to the story. The only thing that
Dare
worries me,
sneeze.
the only thing that worries me about this at all is they're already saying that they want to build an entire universe out of it, and that can be
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, but at the same time, I look at who it is, and I'm like, I kind of trust you guys. So all right.
That's
I
the
think
thing.
they shouldn't do it.
I trust them, but they also came in when there was already kind of an established universe. Like
Exactly.
Jon Favreau had done a lot of the heavy lifting for that. And I'm not saying that they didn't put in their fair share because I mean, look at what we got.
Right.
But that's. How about we slow our roll a little bit, Netflix? Let's back
I think
down a
it's
little bit
just
here.
Yeah, I think it's just announcing that that's what they're going to do out front is really what I have a problem with. If that's their plan, if that's what they want to do, sure. I don't know if we need to know that that's what they're planning to do so far
Yeah.
out. And they
Yeah.
aren't directing. Also, they are producing, which is kind of a good sign. They're sort of, I guess, taking a Feige role, and they saw firsthand. They observed that for a number of years, so they might have some idea what they're doing. But it's just that thing of like, don't announce this stuff. Don't tell us that that's your plan. Like, if you look at what Marvel did, they didn't announce this. They put the pieces there so you could put them together if you wanted. I realized what they were doing in 2008, but it wasn't necessarily going to happen. It wasn't like a sure thing.
No, if Iron Man wouldn't have done as well as it did, like we wouldn't have any of the stuff that we got from them later. It would have been like, all right, let's see if this one works. Oh no, all right, let's see if this one works. Yeah.
I really think that the MCU is kind of like the World of Warcraft of movies, in that there will never ever be a contender. It'll just be the MCU for years.
It's just going to be an endless cycle of DC shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Right. Not from anybody actively attempting to recreate it. It's one of those things. Like, there's a reason that between the MCU and the Universal Monsters, the only thing similar to that happened was in Japan in the 60s. Like, nothing else in America close to that happened. So, yeah.
Using the World of Warcraft analogy, then what's going to be the Conan MMO movie that just lets you choose the size of dong?
Here's the thing. That was the Dooku. That was the Dark Universe.
That's the next choose your own adventure movie that Netflix puts out, where you play like a porn star or something.
Oh God, don't even. You know that they're writing this right now.
They are. They have to be. When Netflix eventually starts putting out video games that you have to stream through them,
that depresses me so bad.
The thing is, like, I thought on that note, like, I thought Netflix had actually been working on a Minecraft, like, choose your own adventure show, which apparently
that was a Telltale thing.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was a Telltale thing that they brought to Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. So it's starting. Just give it time.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll release a video game and then you get halfway through it and it just ends. And you're like, where's the rest? I go, there isn't any. That's it. We're done.
We lost the rights.
No, they released 2 of them.
We lost the rights.
They cancel it.
Yeah, they cancel. And you go like, are we going to resolve this? Fuck no, we can't.
No,
the second one ends on like a crazy cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's almost like some sort of Luke Cage-esque situation.
Yeah, or they release the first game and it's bad, and the second one's better, and then they cancel it.
And
Please don't remind me of how much I miss Luke Cage.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I almost miss Iron Fist.
Yeah, I miss Iron Fist. I would be very into an Iron Fist season 3 dropping right this minute.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Speaking.
I'm into that. For me, it's like I missed having that little block of like shows and heroes and characters. I missed that little world, that like life of the MCU, and I'm mad it's gone.
Yeah.
I miss having not the highest stakes ever, but still having it kind of be tangentially related to these other things that I like.
Yeah. I love hearing someone say, that's that Justin Hammer shit. I want that.
I think my thing was like I lost some momentum on the Marvel stuff on Netflix because it, as weird as it sounds, they released too much too quickly near the end of there. Like it felt like there wasn't much spacing.
Yeah,
it was too much of a good thing, and I couldn't. Yeah,
I still really like those shows, like the Daredevil, obviously, and Punisher were like my 2 main favorite shows, and they're just gone. Even the last season of Jessica Jones is fantastic.
Yes, it is,
and it's gone. Like there will never be another Jessica Jones.
Nope. No.
Well, I'm sure they'll try to shoehorn her somewhere into the MCU, but
We'll see. I don't know. With Bendis not being at Marvel anymore, we'll see
Yeah,
what they do
well.
there.
Wasn't Bendis turn out to be a horrible Predator? Is that?
No, that's Warren Ellis, not
Yeah.
Bendis. Yeah,
That
Yeah,
one
I-
didn't hurt at all. That one didn't kind of hurt my feelings a lot.
I mean, Hunter, with everything that's happened in the last 5
Yeah.
years, you're forgiven for being mistaken.
Yo,
I-
it does feel good to be on a Lucasfilm blacklist, though. Let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Yeah. I don't know. I think I will give anything the Russo's name is attached to a try, and
Right.
especially with those two actors, I'm definitely more
Yeah.
into it. And Chris Evans is a treasure, and we should enjoy everything.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
Exactly.
he's the greatest thing this wretched side of the United States ever created. So this terrible atrocity that is Massachusetts.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
I mean, I'm from Jersey, so there's only so much I can say.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
was-
yeah,
Oh,
it's-
go
yeah.
ahead. No.
I was gonna say it's on Netflix, so like, what am I not gonna watch it? What am I gonna
Yeah,
like? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
It's like,
And it'll be
Yeah.
there forever. So
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my logic with Extraction, which not a great movie, not amazing, but
People
I was
like that, though.
It was there. Extraction has good action. If anybody's like, should I watch it? It's.
I feel
yeah.
like Extraction is one of those movies like fuck, what is it called? The Rundown, where like
Right.
people are gonna like watch and be like, hey, that was fine, and then never talk about it ever again.
Fair. Yeah, I can see that. Like, people are gonna remember certain moments. Like, you get to see Chris Hemsworth and Hopper. I can't remember his actual fucking David Harbour on screen together. That's something special.
That's cool.
kinda
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. So that's a thing. Anyways, do we want to move on to the next?
Oh,
yeah, this one
Sure.
hurts too.
Speaking of the MCU, yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
my shouts of frustration could be heard from orbit.
That's the thing. Like it's not any fault of Marvel's either, or like
Right.
Disney. It's just shit timing. Like it's nothing that anyone could control, and it's just like, really, motherfuckers. Like, this has to happen when you
Mhm.
have all this momentum, all this
Yeah.
ridiculous momentum, and everyone was super excited for, and then it's just like, nope, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that it was anything that anybody thought caused this. I don't want to say that that's the case. But you
Yeah.
could almost argue that people saying Marvel needed a break, that we created the pandemic psychically. You-
Honestly, like it in one respect, like the industry coming to a halt is kind of good for everybody.
Yeah.
Just in terms of anticipation, like what's going to happen when they all finally come back.
Mhm.
And Marvel couldn't have had a better moment to be like, let's just kind of be quiet.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine if this pandemic hit right after Infinity War dropped?
Oh,
I would have been depressed for the rest of my life.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck. Or even after Winter Soldier, or
Yeah.
shit, just or after Civil War. Like,
If it was
imagine,
after
like,
Iron Man, could you imagine that?
Oh, wow. Okay, that's different. That's a whole different thing. But yeah,
Well,
like
After they dropped the whole Avengers Initiative thing, if they did,
Right.
if it happened immediately after,
well, and after,
Holy
after Captain
shit.
America, the first Avenger, with that Avengers trailer that was at the end of First Avenger, and
Yeah.
that too, that would have been.
yeah,
yeah.
that
But
would
yeah,
be
with specifically with what is it, Cap and Winter Soldier, or Falcon Winter Soldier? Goddamn, I cannot remember. Yeah, it sucks because I know like they had gotten some filming done, but they weren't done filming the whole thing. So it's not like they can even be like, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer before we finish editing it because of this, that, and the other thing. It's just like, no, we can't do anything else with it right now because all of our shooting locations are shut down.
yeah.
right. Yeah,
And my thing
And-
is like it is
yeah.
picking up threads that I find to be like I
Mm-hmm.
think most people would find to be really intriguing about the MCU, which is
Yeah,
and like after so many movies of like, and then the villain died.
Right.
This is like, one, you're bringing him back, and two, like, you're also kind of putting, it seems like, a bookend on like all the Bucky stuff where he's getting a massive role upgrade.
Right.
And well, I mean, him and Falcon are get their profiles
you could
raised.
argue that after Endgame, this was the main thread. That this was like the thing that the majority of people cared the most about. I mean, that's why this is the first thing after Spider-Man that would have come out. Although there were other movies that were supposed to come out, of course.
Yeah.
But this is the first thing progressing the story that was going to come out. I'm pretty sure.
And arguably, this was one of the, like, all of the Marvel TV shows were the big reason a lot of people signed up for Disney Plus initially.
Yeah.
I mean, I know outside of The Mandalorian, I know that's why I did.
I mean, there's one big reason why I signed up for Disney Plus.
What, Rise of the Skywalker available?
Yeah, it's Rise of the Skywalker, my favorite movie of all time. I can't watch anymore because I'm banned.
God damn.
No, but yeah, this sucks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm also like, on the same vein, like, I'm also really upset that Black Widow's not coming out anytime soon. It seems, because Black Widow looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I feel like they should just release that one. That's one where I'm like, just put it out. Just put it on streaming.
If only they had some sort of service that they could.
Right. If only they had some sort of streaming mechanism that they...
Some sort of Disney Plus?
Honestly, I could see what would happen is, because every country other than the United States seems to be handling this entire pandemic much better, I could see if China gets to a point where they are starting to reopen theaters, they would bring it out there first. And then once it makes its money in China, they would be like, all right, we're going to put it on streaming.
And then we're watching a whole bunch of crazy Korean bootlegs of Black Widow.
Right. Like, the only problem with doing that with Black Widow is, and even though I know Captain Marvel made like $1 billion, it doesn't help with like the kinds of movies that they can put out. If it's because of a woman. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, all that stuff, that could poison it if they do it that way. Like, there's a
women can't be superheroes.
Right, exactly. They can't make money. They can't.
No, women can't make money or sell action figures or
space.
Women should stick to sewing and other
sewing, cooking.
Well, that's the thing. I've never understood how they can be superheroes. I mean, they don't have shoes on. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. They don't have time
in between. Drive. So
how are you saving the world if you have all these sandwiches to make me?
Exactly.
Between washing clothes on an old-timey washboard.
They're holding 4 babies somehow and dinner at the same time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just it. Falcon Winter Soldier, I was excited by it, but I was also super excited by WandaVision. Like, I don't know where that is at this point, and it just it sucks. It sucks.
I mean,
and it sucks.
The silver lining here is hopefully these things will come out eventually.
Right.
Oh, Disney's not letting this get through their fingers.
No.
Especially because it's directly associated with the MCU. Now, like, New Mutants, on the other hand, I don't know.
Does that movie even exist? At this point, I'm convinced. I'm convinced
it might not actually be. It might just be a couple of clips that they put together.
Is New Mutants a tulpa that we created?
I'm telling you, it's a Dark Phoenix reboot. Like, half of the movie, like, Jean just shows up from outer space, and she's like, "This is my film now."
Did you know that Life is a prequel of the Phoenix?
God damn it. Mutants, and I understand it's more than just put it out on the streaming service. Like, there's right stuff there, but then whoever the fuck has the rights to stream it, like, Disney just needs to fucking let it go. Like,
At this point, it's not going to be the big success I think it's going to be. So I
don't know. It's gone beyond, like, even them assuming that it will be a failure. It's just like, people just want to watch it, I think. I think there's, like, a morbid curiosity at this point.
Well, I can't remember if it was if it was you, Connor, Lynn, who had posited the theory that there's a bigger connection to the MCU in this movie, and that's why like Marvel has such a hard on about releasing it in theaters.
I think that's just been floating around, but I'm certainly of the opinion that that might be their intention, that because the movie is, because I'm hearing that it's kind of cut off from other X-Men movies. And I saw a story that X-Men Apocalypse had an effect on how this movie was made.
Uh-oh.
I would
Which-
hope.
Right. Well, one would assume so.
Was that the
I'm
right lesson or the
assuming-
wrong lesson? That's the important part.
Yeah, I would assume that it's not very connected to those previous Lauren Shure Donner produced films, and that it's fairly, you can add anything to it that you want to make it connect to something else. So if it had been successful, they might have used it as the jumping off point for introducing X-Men into the MCU.
And there's
know
50% less shirtless boys in it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Take
Honestly,
out all
I think the fact that it hasn't just been outright shelved indefinitely
Mhm.
is probably an indication that there is something in that movie that they want people to see in regards to like, hey, this is how we're going to fold this section of the Marvel library into our ongoing universe.
So
Well, but,
Right.
oh, go ahead. Whoever's
Part
going
of
to talk
me-
there.
part of me wonders like how they could even do that at this point, because like
Right.
you dropping the mutants in right now seems kind of weird.
Yeah. I've said for a while that I don't like explaining where the mutants have been all this time is
It's
a
weird.
big lift.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Unless like you get away with it by saying, because like it's the X gene, right? That's what activates everyone's
Mhm.
powers, right? That's what makes you
Yeah.
What
Right.
if
if there's
Thanos-
like some kind of cosmic event that triggers the X gene and all these
Right.
latent mutants are suddenly among us, then that's something you could do, I guess.
I mean, maybe 5 gems, 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Gems?
nothing comes to mind, especially
Well,
in
you
the last
think
few
about it,
years.
Gems existed that when they were snapped, maybe they just changed reality a little bit and altered the past.
Oh, you mean
know?
like what Rocket said, like that there's cosmic event on a scale that the universe has never seen that happened twice?
Right.
Huh.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But my big thing to take a wider view on this is I don't understand why movie studios can't accept what's going on. Like
Mhm.
people don't want to go to
Mo-
the theaters right now.
money makes you fucking stupid? Let's be real
Well,
here.
The studios are
Billions
either
of
taking-
dollars rots your fucking brain.
Yeah, I think it's
Right.
like the fact that like they've the people in these companies right now and us, like a lot of us who are alive, like who are
Right.
beneath a certain age, have never lived to see the world just come to this much of a standstill.
Yeah.
So it's like I think for people in these positions, like, what do you mean? What do you mean like the theaters aren't open? What do you mean this isn't open? What do you mean people aren't leaving their houses? That's preposterous.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's weird because most of these studios are in that mode of like, we need to get back into theaters as soon as we can. And then you have the opposite reaction, which is what Comcast did like 2 months ago, where they were like, fuck theaters. We don't need theaters. Who needs a theater? Trolls World Tour came out and it was a big success. So that gives us a reason to say that we won't put the fast movies in theaters. And it's like, really?
Well,
It's-
Trolls World Tour was an anomaly because it's a kids movie, and at that
Exactly.
point, parents were starting to feel the crunch of like, I don't know what to do with my little kids anymore.
I have to talk to them.
They've
It's-
watched Lego Batman 500 times.
it's-
To be fair, Lego Batman fucking rules.
No, Lego Batman's pretty great. Lego
but
Batman's
it
really
goes
good.
beyond like doing the best you can as a parent. Like there is a certain point where I'm sure they're just like, I'm going to eat these children. I'm going to become Kronos. Like I am going to be the devourer of my children. Like, so I can understand why something like, oh my God, a new kids movie. Yes, I will pay whatever you want me to pay to watch this. Like I can understand how that did so well, but it's frustrating to me that studios, instead of making tens of billions of dollars, aren't happy to only make, let's say $7 billion off of
Yeah.
something.
That's not
it
enough.
it doesn't make sense. And I understand that's coming from a consumer viewpoint. So it's just like, but I want the thing I want now.
Well, I mean, if you want a good like view into the mindset these people have, Florida is the epicenter of the world.
Yep.
For COVID outbreaks, and they opened Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
These people
I've-
don't live in the same reality as we do.
I've seen
No.
videos of, because my wife and I, before we went to Disney, we were watching a whole bunch of videos on YouTube of people who, like, their job is essentially to put out videos on what to do at Disney and various tricks and blah, 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 all that bullshit. Like, I've seen some of these people, and it's painful to watch because they're just like, this is supposed to be opening at Disney, or like there's a guy who goes there and talks about the different foods they have there and different things that are, and like you see video of him there, and they're like, it is the most empty I've ever seen Disney ever, and it's kind of ridiculous that they're even open. The
Wow.
cost for them to be open has to be more than it is bringing people visiting, and I
I've
don't
seen-
get it.
I've seen pictures of people I know at Disney, and I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, somebody I work with was just like, yeah, I was just in South Carolina, and I'm like, get away from me.
It is hilarious how much I dunk on Massachusetts, but now they have like the fine that people are paying if they go to Massachusetts right now.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like,
good for them, honestly.
Isn't it like $500 or something like that?
It's $500. Here in New Hampshire, because of a lot of us work up there. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna work. I
Wait.
don't,
If you go to Massachusetts, you get a
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
If you go there and you don't quarantine for 2 weeks and you get caught,
That's
like
insane, and I love it.
Yeah, it's what should happen, honestly, because this is getting ridiculous to watch the news and to watch people I know be like, who I thought were smart, be like, why should I have to wear a mask? And I have to sit there and be like, I'm going to strangle you.
hmm Yeah. Well, it's a joy. It's a joy living in the United States.
I don't like it. I wish I could wake up from this never-ending nightmare.
Nope. Never gonna happen.
Nope.
No. Yeah. Sorry, a little bit off track there. So
Yeah. Does anybody want to transition to the feel-good story of the year?
Oh,
yeah.
you mean Ubisoft being like the worst company ever?
Why? Okay. The thing this is awful. First of all,
Mhm.
Ubisoft is having issues where turns out a lot of them are not great people. Turns out a lot of them are perverts who need to keep their hands to themselves.
Yeah.
If people want a really, really raw, informative take on this, just go watch Jim Sterling go fucking nuclear.
I was just about to say
I
over
watch
this.
Jim Sterling
I
video
watched that
because-
video and I wholeheartedly. Let me get this way. I don't care for Jim Sterling. I think he's kind of, at times he can be like a little bit.
He can be much.
a
He can be
He
a
can be
bit
much. He can be much.
Yeah.
Everything he says in that Ubisoft video is on point.
His existence is important because he is like one of the few voices who's like, no, fuck you. You should not
Yeah.
be getting away with this. And he has no fears about,
Right.
saying what's on his minds in regards to
Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
but the
Oh,
people
go
in this
ahead, sorry.
company are like, they're like serial rapists
Yeah.
who like
Mhm.
just got moved around like the fucking Catholic Church did.
The story that like broke me and kind of made me laugh about this was the HR manager got fired over this because he was an abuser too.
Yeah. Well, and he was also part of the ingrained abuse. Like, he was just ignoring accounts
Yeah.
of abuse.
It's like, are you fucking for real?
That's the thing. I haven't been able to keep up on everything that's been happening with Ubisoft, other than
There's
Oh,
so
so-
much.
oh yeah, I know. It's just every time I've seen something, I think part of my brain was just like, oh, that's the same story, and not realizing, oh no, it's another story from Ubisoft.
Mhm.
Like, and
And-
then go ahead.
And to watch these guys just in every E3, they're always like, we're Ubisoft, we're the fun company, right? Like we got the dancing panda, and like to know behind the scenes this is happening is horrifying.
Also, like it really takes that little like disclaimer before Assassin's Creed or something like that. Like this game was
Oh.
created by a team of of multinational
Oh.
people of various walks of life. It's diversity, blah blah blah. Like
Religion,
like
yeah.
a positive like kind of message, I guess. And then like it's just so marred by the fact that that company is full of just like the scummiest people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
And apparently, in some of the offices across Europe, racism is a really bad problem.
Yep.
Well,
that
yeah.
that's not that surprising to me. I mean, it's terrible and it's unacceptable,
is.
but unfortunately, I'm not that surprised. Like yeah.
Yeah, Europe is. I think because people don't pay attention to Europe and they haven't had like a civil rights movement in like we have, that people don't think about it as being a racist place, but it
There-
is.
There's there's like deeply racist parts of all of Europe, isn't there? Because like
Well, yeah, and like in the past 5 years, there's been just rising fascism throughout Europe. Just
Mhm.
Yeah.
just
It's like-
just a little bit of
a little bit.
fascism.
Yeah, check out
Um,
Greece. Just read up on the National Front. Like,
Oh
yeah.
God, I don't even want to think about that right now.
Yeah, and their flag that looks like a swastika that's been unwrapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I-
yeah.
But back to the Ubisoft stuff. Like, I know another story that was floating around. I think you had posted something, Connor. Was the whole thing that Ubisoft, some of the geniuses there decided to reduce the importance of some of the female characters in the last 3 Assassin's
Oh,
Creed
well,
games.
it was apparently initially they were going to be. Well, they changed it. Some like internally there was a decision to increase their roles, but the initial discussion was like we can't have games with female protagonists
Mhm.
because they won't sell well enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually,
Which
It's
is such
funny.
a like what a fucking ancient way to look at your audience.
so
Yeah,
what's
I've never
funny
heard
about
this one
that?
before on this
What's
show.
funny about that is if you go all the way back to BioShock Infinite, that was the thing.
Whoa.
Because when BioShock
Oh, that's right.
Infinite,
They didn't put what's her face in the cover.
yeah,
for that
they couldn't put Elizabeth on the cover because they put out like it was like a survey where like which cover do you like best, and it was always guy with gun, that always was the cover they wanted.
Who were they sending the survey to?
I
If it
don't
was quote unquote gamers, then I understand because they're horrible.
Living Neanderthals, that's my only
Uh,
And it's like
explanation for this.
when you think of BioShock Infinite, do you think of Booker DeWitt? You don't. You think of
No,
Elizabeth.
because he's
Yeah.
he's a fucking vanilla like wafer that you just kind of
supposed
move
to be-
around.
He's
Yeah,
supposed to
no.
be the player. He's essentially.
Yeah, he exists so you can be there to watch Elizabeth's story
Yeah, and he-
unfold.
He has a part in the story, but like if you think
Mhm.
about it, he's almost nothing at that
He's
point.
the biggest pawn in the whole story.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Well, and all of the like marketing and anything interesting about that game when it came out or when it was starting to be released was Elizabeth. Like it was
Yeah.
always like
Mhm.
watching her bring people to alternate universes.
Right.
Like so, so back to the Ubisoft thing. That like the only fucking reason I made it through Assassin's Creed was being able to play the female character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I
She's
didn't want to play
arguably-
that
she's
stupid
arguably
slag
better-
of meat. Like
She's arguably a better written character than
Yeah.
I can't even remember his name.
and the voice
Lexos?
actress is
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it like in Origins, like suddenly Aya shows up and you're like, what a fucking badass you are. And what a
Yeah.
sweet couple you guys make. Like you're both really interesting together and separately.
And you're both
Yeah.
murder hobos.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
like Aya got such a fucking boot. Like doesn't she assist in the assassination of Julius Caesar at the end of that game?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yes.
Something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're both like they were really interesting characters. And I like the twin story in Odyssey. I think in Syndicate they were also going to remove Evie entirely.
That
Well,
would have
just
been dumb
would've
because
been
she
Stupid
was
because that
she was
dude
actually
is
the most interesting character in that game.
Yeah. So this
That-
is
that-
a long way of saying, fuck Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I will not be buying that game or playing it. And I can't describe the part of my soul that just shriveled up and died as I said that out loud.
Yeah, and like it sucks because I would like to play that. I, however, don't want to give Ubisoft any money.
I don't.
Yeah.
I wrote something recently about WB, the Harry Potter game that is the worst kept secret in the world.
Yeah.
And people were already talking about boycotting it, which is great, but I think voting with your wallet is very important in the games industry because whether people want to admit it or not, it does lead to change. Like look at Battlefront 2. Like that they got them to not only take out the loot crate stuff, but they made that into a better game because of that whole Fallout.
Yeah.
With Ubisoft though, it's different because it's all of Ubisoft. There's no, I can't even tell you if there's any good employees there, and there clearly are because all the women who are going forward. But
Yeah, and it makes the argument of like, well, I don't want to boycott this game because like more than just a bunch of shitty executives were involved in it. But like, how do I know that like someone, the head of the art department wasn't also some kind of pervert?
Also,
I'm going to buy that
you
game
go
when I can find it used.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That is the only way I'll ever get is I find it secondhand.
I have a younger sibling who is going to play this game. He's gonna buy it, and if he has it, and we currently live in the same town at that moment, I will probably check it out.
And the wind is blowing a specific direction.
Right.
And it's Tuesday.
But I'm not actively checking. I'm not actively going for it. I'm not buying it. If I could return the money that I spent on that expansion pack, I would. But I can't.
Arlen, what you need to do is spend your money on Bugsnax.
Right,
That's the only logical answer here.
Exactly. And on the J.K. Rowling thing, there's a big difference there for me, which is that she wrote the books a long time ago, and she's currently involved. But this is like if WB and everybody in WB was revealed to be just like massive pieces of shit. Yeah, rapists.
Also,
so
I don't think J.K. Rowling has even visited the studio that's making that game. So
no, she's just getting the money from having the rights being made into a game, like whatever. I'm sure she has some sort of residual, but fine, whatever. Like, she's a shitbag, and she's a shitbag, but that shouldn't detract from a game that has absolutely nothing to do with her.
Other than her saying whether or not something's okay to put in it, really.
I mean, look at the Mad Max game. The Mad Max game doesn't even have George Miller's name on it.
Nope.
Well, that was
also
a last-minute change with that game, too. Yeah.
I bet, though, he'd love that game.
Oh, he probably does. Well, because he's like, look at all my toys you just kind of, did your own thing with. Well, I was thinking, like, they show Rowling the game, and there's bathrooms in it. She's like, what the fuck is this? Wizard shit in a hallway.
Did a man poop in this bathroom?
Which goes, fuck, all right, it's going to be a Harry Potter nerd quick. Well, they even showed in he's like, our fucking bathrooms in Hogwarts. Like, get the fuck off of your retconning.
There's a fucking...
It's a main plot point.
Yeah.
The basilisk goes through the pipes that lead into the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't...
So here's another thing.
Also, Moaning Myrtle.
Yeah. Oh, you hear the kicker about Moaning Myrtle? Think about this shit. She's all worried about trans people when she made a character named Moaning Myrtle who watches young children bathe.
Yeah.
She's a terrible person.
Flicking that ghost canoe.
Anyways, don't buy Ubisoft games.
No.
Just don't.
Yeah.
Wait another year on Just Dance. That's all I'm saying.
Well, so this is my one caveat, and even I don't even know if this is enough. If like the entire leadership of Ubisoft gets fired, right?
Oh, that's looking very likely. That's
and
looking
like they bring in a bunch of new people who are like known for being not assholes. Again, this is a very small hypothetical that I don't know if will come true. But in that hypothetical, there's a chance in a couple years I might buy a Ubisoft game. But like, no, not in the next year.
Here's what you should do with the money that you're all gonna use to buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Bugsnax.
Wait, buy Bugsnax. Buy Hellblade 2 and observe a far better story with in the same setting.
Or Project Medium.
Honestly,
also the same studio.
I'm gonna need Hellblade 2 to fill in the gap that I'm going to lose. So
get that Iceland shit right there.
I'll just continue to play Cyberpunk. Like that'll just be my thing. Yeah. So
well,
I'll go play Ragnar for PS2.
I'm gonna play Darkwatch. I don't know if that's related, but
I'm just gonna replay the Space Viking levels from Doom Eternal.
Actually, honestly, might have to do it.
When Doom Eternal suddenly becomes new gods.
Onto a happier video game story, arguably.
G4.
Yeah, it's coming back, apparently.
Oh boy.
I
I'm ambivalent because like it wasn't
Yeah.
really a thing for me, but like apparently
Uh-huh.
there's people out there who love this network. So yeah, good for you guys.
Friend of
Yeah.
the show,
Right.
Emmett, loves G4. And
There were-
I'm fond of G4 to an extent. I'm
there
happy
was-
to be back.
There were
Right.
things I really liked about G4 when it was on, but that was before the internet is what it is, and that's
Right.
where I'm kind of like, is this necessary?
10 years ago, Attack of the Show and X-Play, and I know that this was during the period of time where I really wasn't that into video games, so this is surprising. Those shows were my life.
Yep.
for a little while there. So like I do have a certain amount of like part of me wants to be very excited about this. Part of me is very happy that Kevin Pereira, who's been like trying to do this for a long time,
Yeah.
I'm happy for him that
Yes.
that it's actually coming through. He's getting to do what he wanted to do, which was bring everybody back together, or at least all the people that he respected back together. Like
Oh, so
that
Olivia
part,
Munn's back.
well,
She's definitely not back, Eric.
I think she's
Oh,
gonna show
no.
up for like I don't know what format G4 is coming back, but
Wait.
I'm assuming as a YouTube show
Eric,
feel
do you
like-
not know about that?
or channel.
About what?
Do you not know that Kevin Pereira does not like Olivia Munn?
I kind of figured.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't think many people like her. Let's be
So
honest.
here's the thing.
Most people don't.
I
yeah.
kind of stand with Olivia Munn on this a little bit because when G4 was ending, he was kind of being a dick about it. Like he was very publicly saying some very rude things about Olivia Munn, and
Especially
you know
at the time, yeah.
you can say what you want about her. She's very smart for what she did. Like
She is very smart, but we talked the other day in one of the chats about how she's also kind of a giant cunt. And she was very bad to other female talent at G4 also.
but yeah, I just don't agree with. Otis agrees.
Otis chiming in.
Otis is a
opinion.
big Olivia Munn head. Loves
Mhm.
big Munn head.
But so part of this announcement, actually, Kevin Pereira was posting pictures of him and Olivia Munn hanging out. I don't know how substantive that was, but I think she shows up again. I'm assuming this is a YouTube show. Like this is some.
Yeah,
sort of,
I'm assuming it's like YouTube or Twitch at this point.
yeah, and I bet she shows up for an episode, and then that's the last
In the
thing
Psylocke
it's-
costume.
see of her.
I think
Yeah.
it's beneath her, honestly. Like I think she will think she's too big at this point. I
Yeah,
don't see her wanting
from all her
to.
speaking roles.
I mean, again, she has retweeted the video.
That's fine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she would want to actually come back. I mean, I would
I
hope
don't
she
think
would
she will.
respect her
I'm saying like
origins.
I'm saying an appearance. Like
I don't even see that, honestly. I think
And,
she's too far above,
uh,
or she thinks she's too far above this. I mean,
she
she was in a
might.
Bryan Singer movie. Say,
She might.
I-
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah,
I think it could literally be like a minute, or it could be just like her answering the phone and be like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that," and that's on camera, and then we see it, and then that's it. That's the bulk of her appearance. Like, she does seem to have a good enough sense of humor that she might do something like that. But I'm not going to be mad if she doesn't show up because, again, I don't particularly like her as a person. And again, like I said, she was apparently very bad to the other female talent because she thought that they were taking away from her ability to.
Dude, Otis really loves Olivia Munn.
Objection.
she apparently was just not into anybody else being a thing on that channel.
Yeah, I don't know.
So like, I don't know if I would want her back if she does show up. Cool. I don't. Whatever. It's
Bring Code Monkeys back.
exactly.
Christ.
but
Just,
Remember Code
just
Monkeys?
be the place where I can go to watch MXC. That's all I care about.
Yeah, let's watch a bunch of episodes of Cops. How about that?
I just
Let's
want
do
like a 4-hour block of Cinematech.
that. Actually, yeah.
The one thing I wanted to say before Otis starts screaming was, I would think this, be it male or female, so please don't take this as me being like it's Olivia Munn. Regardless, I feel like her being on that show was kind of predatory in a way,
Yeah.
because
too.
she was just like, okay, I know I'm attractive. I don't give a fuck about what these people are doing or promoting
Right.
on this channel. I'm just using this to, and that just strikes me as kind of bullshit,
Mhm.
because everybody else who was on that channel, from what I remember watching, to genuinely like what they're talking
Right.
about doing on the channel, because they're
Mhm.
still involved in that stuff in some way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of them are doing a version of what they did to some degree. Like Chobot is doing a version of what she did. Fucking everybody. They're all in some way involved in the same things that they were doing. Sessler is working behind the scenes, but still, like that's what a lot of.
I'm sure
video
he'll be
game
on
people
camera
do.
every once in a while. I just don't.
I'm
I don't
sure.
see a
Well,
D4
yeah.
where Adam Sessler's not on camera at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I'm curious. Like, is he gonna get everybody back the way that they were, or is it gonna be like a passing of the torch thing where Sessler shows up occasionally and they like give it to a new crew of people? I'm very curious to see what they're doing.
So kind of like the MST3K reboot, where like
Right.
all the old heads were still involved, but they were all in production roles, and the brunt of the show was new people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be very curious. What it is, what the actual show is. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff because my very initial reaction was, do we need this? Is this something that we actually
Here's the thing.
require?
I think there is room for a 24-hour gaming news thing.
Oh, totally.
Right. I think that there's room for somebody to not put IGN's dick in the dirt, but like so that they have a form of competition. I don't think that they would have come out swinging as that, but
I
they
think
have the name to do it with. So
the thing is, with game journalism is like there are a lot of names out there,
Mhm.
but there's not a lot that does what IGN does. Let's say like GameSpot
Right.
used to be what IGN is now. I'd say.
Yeah.
But
And
I
Giant
think
Bomb is just their own island.
Yeah. A Giant Bomb, I almost wouldn't even consider them games journalists. That's their own sort of.
Yeah.
I would even say, just from my somewhat outside view, all of the other outlets, they have like a niche that they exist in.
You mean a niche?
They have
A niche?
fuck you. Fuck you. They all have a thing that they do that's very specific to them.
Yeah.
But IGN is like the giant kaiju in the room.
IGN is essentially if Fox News didn't have any competition, essentially. And like I'm not saying that IGN is Fox News like as a detriment.
No.
I mean it's like a giant entity that is not really in competition with anything.
Right, and you could argue that there are certain problems that Fox News has that IGN does have. But I'd
argue that too.
I think the name on its own, G4, like I said, I think that could help somebody actually compete with IGN and give IGN something to work against, because that's the thing. Competition helps. Having somebody who actually meets you on your level is a good thing. That's why I do wish that the DC movies were better, or just more successful, because I think Marvel could easily go downhill if they don't have anything to challenge them. Because there's nothing. There's literally nothing at the moment.
Their only competition is Star Wars. It's the same fucking brand.
Guess what?
And that doesn't bode well for consistent quality over the next couple of years. Even if everybody there remains the same.
Well, not to get back into the weeds of DC Marvel stuff. My thing with G4 is that, and I know Twitch does this a lot, but I mean that's based personality than it is just straight up showing you like gaming competitions. There's really a whole lot going on right now, but still, like there isn't any place other than like I don't know, ESPN 32 or whatever the fuck it is that used to try and show like Magic the Gathering, like
which is crazy that we're at a point where that's possible. Like
and I think if G4 was smart, they would get in on something like that, and they would be the place to do that, because I think there is an audience for it.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's also this, and IGN has kind of gotten rid of this also. G4 is very connected in my head with where things were in 2010 in terms of the internet, and the sort of like seedy, almost, porn light aspect of it, where like looking at photos of girls was also part of it because that's where gamer culture was at the time.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
like, and people were like posting videos that were like kind of weird and not great, where it's like Olivia Munn, the gamer girl in the GameStop or whatever.
I honestly, I really think Olivia Munn is like the genesis of the gamer girl. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I think she's fully responsible for the gamer girl image. Like,
Well, I think that's what
full
she was
stop.
carved out there to be in the first place. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you're an
Right.
attractive girl who kind of likes nerdy shit. Go out there as a
Right.
sacrificial lamb to get all these
Yeah.
neck beards in.
But I think she's responsible for the idea that those people don't actually like video games. And it's been something that people who do like video games have had to deal with for years.
it's also wrong because like the
Mhm.
amount of people who play video games has only skyrocketed since 2010. So
Yeah.
I was just you mentioning like the kind of like not quite porn, but kind of porny like with G4. I cannot the guy who did this, but there was a weird like show that always felt like an G4. It was somebody who would show like internet videos. He had a friend co-host on it that was like the guy had glasses, he was balding, like, he was always drinking beer. Black woman that was the like narrator whatever. I know I'm doing it.
Oh,
Explaining
the
it.
feed?
Remember what's that? No, it was not the feed. It was like a tertiary show showed up at 7 o'clock at night, maybe a little bit earlier.
I don't know.
Skinny guy, like kind of a mop top haircut. Like I can't.
Oh
remember.
God.
Yeah, I'll have to do some searching. But
Are you talking about
yeah.
the show with Chris Hardwick?
No.
Is that the show you're
No.
talking about?
No,
Hardwick?
not Chris Hardwick. I know what Chris Hardwick. God damn it.
Mhm.
All right. Anyways.
Also, I'm glad that he was nowhere to be seen when this happened. He wasn't
Mhm.
attached to it at all, and that made me very happy because fuck him.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all we had to really say on that one. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to say?
It was Unscrewed with Martin Sargent.
Oh.
No.
I used to love that, and he actually had a podcast that was quite good too, but he kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. But yeah, he was one of the things that I closely associate with G4 because that was one of the main reasons I'm watching it. But anyways,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
G4, it does have a lot of potential to be something cool again. They need to figure out how to make it work on the internet now.
Yeah, and what I do remember from when Kevin, because I used to follow him quite a bit, I used to listen to his podcast. He talked about how he thought that the problem with the show is that when he wanted to make links easily accessible so that people could watch them, and when he wanted to put clips of Attack of the Show on YouTube, he was told that he couldn't. And that's part of why he was of the opinion that the network failed and died. And I think he was correct, because I remember wanting to share like a clip of Eric Andre tackling a tree live on Attack of the Show, and I couldn't get it to share properly on Facebook, which of all things is one of the most insane sentences ever, because it's 2010 2012 Facebook, but still that shouldn't be that hard of a thing, and people should be able to watch it from Facebook. Like,
it's also crazy to think that there's ever a time where that wasn't possible. Like,
yeah, so it's like, I think he understands. I think he knows what went wrong. I think he knows how an internet-ready version of G4 should run. So I think that if it is really him who's in charge, which it seems like it is, because he was one of the first people to tweet about this, he tweeted beforehand, something's happening. None of you will know what it is, but you'll all be excited. Which makes me think it is him. I'm very curious to see where this goes, and if he's able to put his money where his mouth is, because he's been saying for years, I know what to do with it, and nobody would let me when I was there. So yeah, very curious to see where that goes. See what happens with it. Yeah. I put in here just etc. because I know you guys had video game stuff that you wanted to talk about.
Well,
So,
what do you want to hit up, dude? Do you want to talk about Halo?
Halo, man?
Do we want to pause because Connor? It seems like you're kind of.
Yeah, I'm starting to fade. My head is fucking throbbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll pause and actually let's just do like a little quick outro and then we can start back up.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You guys talk about video games. I'm gonna bow out because my head fucking hurts. But watched Orca the other day, and yeah, that was a movie.
Yep. Told you.
Is it a film that came out?
I just know that like when that fucking like circus peanut fetus pops out of that giant eviscerated whale, like I was like, I need a hug. Like,
Yep.
but apparently, we got CV Smith on, and he has a YouTube page called Taking a Page, and he covers novel adaptations of films or novels that return to movies.
That's weird.
The ending of Orca, the book, has the whale having a psychic conversation with the main character.
Yeah.
And he says, like,
Right.
you know, surrender to me, join me as one, and then it just swims away.
Yeah. All right. I'm into that.
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, that's coming out, and we also have some summer promotional stuff coming out soon. So yeah, go check that out. Tix is out. We interviewed Amy Dolan. She's very nice. So yeah, there's that. That's all I gotta say.
Did the whale and the guy do the fusion dance?
You know, if that
Kill-
had happened, like, it's even like a 10 out of 10 in my book.
Who
Alright,
wants to go next?
Yeah, I think everybody knows the rest of our plugs, but Lost Hero podcast should be out by the time this is up, so go listen to that. Yeah.
Don't follow me on social media. teespring.com/America's Boyfriend. Go buy a t-shirt. That's it for me.
Eric_Fedor, Instagram, things, and things. Phantom Zone stuff, places, things.
The group.
Rabble.
Yes,
Go-
exactly.
Rabble. Follow Young Kame on Instagram.
Rabble.
Yes, and a quick version of bye.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
Fuck X1.